Since all the adult children were wondering what happened to the Christian, we were going to read night 321. Night 321, morning dawned as Sherazad broke off and continued with night 321. I heard, O fortunate king, that Barsum said, "You have divined correctly, for this one is indeed a Christian." All those present, emirs and others, were astonished at the accuracy of Zumurrud's divination. "This king," they exclaimed, "is an astrologer unmatched in this world." She then ordered Barsum to be flayed and his skin stuffed with straw and hung up over the gate to arena. That's pretty harsh. I thought she was a nice king. A pit was to be dug outside the city in which his flesh and bones were to be burned, with dirt and filth being thrown over them. She was obeyed, and all her orders were carried out. The people said the man got what he deserved. What an unlucky mouthful it was that he took. One of them
Just for
said,
the rice. They
God.
thought she did it just because she grabbed the rice from somebody else's body. Oh God, if they thought they didn't know the real reason.
I think the punishment of this is a little too strong. My goodness, it
But
couldn't.
that's not that. She punished him because he is the one who stoned her and hit her and
Yeah.
separate her from her.
One of them said, "This one will divorce his wife if ever again in his life he eats sweetened rice." Said while one of them said, "This one will divorce his wife if ever again in life he eats sweetened rice." While the hashish addict exclaimed, "Praise be to God who preserved me from this man's fate by keeping me from eating that rice." I guess they don't know the causation. They all left thinking it taboo to take Barsum's place by the rice dish. Now you could figure out how taboos come about. In the third month, the table was set out as usual and filled with dishes, with Zumurrud sitting on her throne and the soldiers, now afraid of her severity, in their customary post. Now they're afraid of her. The townsfolk came in as normal and circled around the food. They looked for the plate of rice, and one of them said to another, "Haji Khalif." "Here I am, Haji Khalif," said the other. "Steer clear of the sweetened rice dish," said Khalif, "and take care not to eat any of it, for if you do, you will be hanged." They then sat down around the table to eat. While they were at their meal, Zumurrud, who had taken her place there, turned to look at a man who was hurrying in from the arena gate. Studying him closely, she made the discovery that he was Jawan the Kurd, the killer of the soldier.
That's the fifth now, eh? He killed the soldier and
Yeah.
he took her to his mother.
Yeah, he's the Kurd. He stole her. Yeah. The reason why Jawan had come there was that after leaving his mother, he had gone off to tell his companions, "I made a good haul yesterday. I killed a soldier and took his horse, and in the night I got a pair of saddlebags filled with gold, together with a girl who was worth even more than the gold. All this I left with my mother in the cave." His companions were delighted, and as evening came, they set off for the cave. Jawan went in ahead as they followed, intending to fetch them the money that he had talked about. But he found the place bare. He asked his mother what had happened. She told him the whole story, leaving him to bite his hands in regret. "By God," he swore, "I'll hunt around for that whore and take her from wherever she may be, even if she hides in the shell of a pistachio nut. Then I shall have my revenge on her." He went in his search and went round place after place until he arrived at Zumurrud city. When he entered, he found no man there, so he questioned some of the women who were looking out their windows. Kind of. He told them that on the first of each month the king will give a banquet to which the people would go to feed, and they showed him the way to the arena where it was laid out. He hurried there, but he could find No empty seat except by the right dish of rice. As this was in front of him, he stretched out his hands towards it, but the people shouted at him, "Brother, what do you mean to do?" "I want to eat my fill from this dish," he told them. "If you do," said one of them, "you will end up hanged." "Shut up," he said, "and don't mention such a thing." Then, stretching out his hand, he pulled the dish towards him. The hashish that Dick mentioned earlier was sitting beside him, and when he saw what he had done, he fled from his place, with the effects of the drug clearing from his head, and sat down in a long way away, exclaiming, "There's nothing I want in that dish." And the Jawan put out was like a crow's foot, but after he had plunged it into the dish and drawn it out again, it looked like a camel's hoof. You can't find out what happens. You'll have to wait till tomorrow. So, in other words, you can't kill me. You can't kill me until I've read you the next night. So you have to be nice to me for a whole day to find out what happens.
So now the next guide, the next is the fifth. That will be two. Yeah.
Now we had read tonight 321 from the Arabian Nights, which we figured out was meant for children and adults.
And since he puts the food there and he thinks everybody will come.
It seems to be. He's a good storyteller. I guess she's famous, though. Is that why she's famous? It's a pretty good version of Arabian Nights, this version, I think. Seems to read pretty well. How are you going to read 1,000 of them? Well, we read one or two or three a day. I guess we'll be done before, in 1 year's time, we could be done. I don't know if we're going to do all of them, but
Actually, would be at 300 when we didn't read more than.
We started, in case people wanted to know, we started in 300s because this is volume 2. We didn't start at 1.
How are you going to do it? You're going to go back and start at 1?
I don't know, dear. It's fate. Whatever fate is, the fate. Fate was that we got volume 2 and started in volume 2 because fate was I got the book for volume 2.
How many books there are?
How many volumes? Well, let me see what's at the end of this book. Oh my God, dear. This book ends on 718.
So it must be one more.
So we suspect that there's probably 3 volumes.
Yeah, 300 each.
Look at the size of that book.
330 each.
My goodness. How are you going to read
the first volume,
Our specialty is reading monstrously gigantic books by reading 10 pages a day until they're completed. That's how you do it. Yeah, how else you can do it? So we read monstrously gigantic books. Because
if you read 3 stories a day, you will finish it in a year.
It's hard to do when you're young because you're in such a hurry to do everything. All right, we finished night 321.